You know, there's something you should know, so I'm gonna tell you so. Don't sweat it, forget it, enjoy the show. Working all day, now it's time to unwind, kick back, relax, take a load off your mind. We'll be busting the moves and we'll be busting the rhymes. We'll be busting up laughing cause it's party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time. Party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time. Party time. Party time. Everybody's feeling fine cause it's party time.
Nuke the whales.
Welcome back to Welcome back to Hollow Victories, everyone. The 50th episode of Hollow Victories, where things are going down about as well as the Titanic. I am your host, Matt Presents, joined as always by my party co-host.
Hello, I'm sad, but you can call me Makal.
And for our 50th episode, we have just the most obvious matchup ever. It's the two animated Titanic movies, Legend of the Titanic versus Titanic, The Legend Goes On. Weirdly similar movies. I think there was even, one of them was, maybe a ripoff of the other. I don't know how much credence there was to that, but, they are weirdly... it's weird enough to do an animated Titanic movie. It's even weirder that there are two of them and that both of them focus on talking mice.
Yeah, talking mice are kind of like an animated kids movie default, so if you don't actually have an idea, there's a good chance you're going to use animated mice.
I also feel like both of these are kind of ripping off an American Tale. Legend of the Titanic especially, the mouse, has the exact same hairstyle as Fievel's friend from that movie, Tony. He's got Tony's haircut.
I gotta rewatch that movie one day. I definitely saw it when I was a kid, but when I was a little kid, I do not remember that movie. The only thing I remember from it, and I think Community has more to do with this than anything, is the Somewhere Out There song.
Yeah, I rewatched it for the Abed video.
Hey.
And it's all over the place, frankly. There's good stuff in there, but he jumps from thing to thing, so quick, and you're like, what? We're already here? He gets abducted and forced into, a sweatshop, and that's resolved in, 5 minutes.
Don Bluth had, an amazing style to his films. I don't think all of them were, masterfully written. Secret of Nim is good. But a lot of his movies are just kind of... a Troll in Central Park, for example. I saw that one when I was a kid. And it's, undeniably very well-made film in terms of animation, but it's also just not the most enjoyable thing to watch. It wasn't enjoyable as a kid, wasn't enjoyable as a almost adult watching with my youngest sister. It's a little much. I don't know. I guess I have a question for you before we get this started. I think it's worth talking about this, especially since I do not believe we're doing an Out of the Ring. What do you think of Titanic, the James Cameron movie?
It's fine. I don't love it or anything. Honestly, I always kind of thought there's a subplot about the captain of the Titanic, and I always thought that was more interesting than anything Jack and Rose were doing.
I agree. I actually think that Jack and Rose, while not horrible characters, anything, always thought they were the least interesting part of it, and that's why I think the first hour and a half is kind of a drag to sit through, but then the last hour to hour and a half where the boat is actually sinking, it's engaging to watch. And I think the captain, people like the captain or the musicians, they're fun to watch. I think that Jack and Rose are the least interesting people on that boat is the issue, and they're the focus of it. But I enjoy Titanic, but I don't like it until the boat starts sinking, and that's not even me saying oh, I want to see the thrill. I want to see the thrill of people panicking and trying to get off this boat. No, it's just there's actually I guess it's the beginning of the movie. The first half of the movie is trying to set up something so you actually feel for the characters when they're going through this. And it just didn't work. It's not horrible. It's not terribly executed, but I do not care about Jack and Rose at all. But I have watched this movie a total of one time.
I think it's fine.
It's not terrible. It's not oh, this is so terribly written. But it's just I also don't really care about them, if I'm being honest.
I feel you.
It's not horribly executed by any means. If someone really likes those two, then it makes sense why they would.
Well, I understand why it's a popular movie.
Yeah, I like My Heart Will Go On, but I actually prefer it as an instrumental track they use in the movie. When they added the lyrics, it's a little bit... I don't know, not for me then. But I like the way the track sounds, like as an instrumental track. I like it. And again, with the lyrics, it's not like terrible. It's just like I prefer how it's used, because I do think it has like a really unique sound. I get why it took off as much as it did. I do think it sounds very nice. It successfully has a beauty and sadness to it that I really like. But I do think that the side characters are the best parts of the movie. But it's also just exceptionally well made. James Cameron is someone who's known for his visuals, I guess. And yeah, they made a very convincing Titanic sinking movie.
And truly these movies live up to that vision.
Oh yeah. 100%. You should just watch all three of them back to back.
I'm sure if James Cameron watched these, he'd be like, yes, I wish I could. This is what I was trying to do. Like that bullshit. That's just what the studio wanted. This was my true vision.
We didn't have the CG on the octopus yet. Oh man, yeah, no, these two, I discovered these two the same way a lot of people did, Nostalgia Critic. Doug definitely has been someone to jump on to stuff that's been covered. Like he did A Talking Cat, he did Food Fight, he did all these big movies after someone else covered them, but I think he is like really the person who got these two down first, unless a different reviewer on the website did it before he did.
I'm pretty sure he was at least one of the first ones to the party with this, because a lot of people have reviewed these movies.
They still get brought back up. There's like modern YouTubers who have like more mainstream appeal than Doug Walker or even JonTron, who have covered the animated Titanic movie, because it's just like, God, both of these two movies do something so fucking outrageous, and it's amazing where it's kind of hard to pinpoint which one is being more outrageous. I think The Rappin' Dog is the crowning achievement of what the fuck were you thinking in terms of the animated Titanic movies, and that's saying something because one of the movies denies that the Titanic even happened.
Well, not that it happened, just that anyone died.
Yeah, I'm counting that as happened.
But I mean, it's our 50th episode as well. I think we're gonna do some reminiscing this episode, because, you know, it's the animated Titanic movies. The problems with these films are obvious and well documented, so yeah. I think we've got plenty. Like, last time we had 4 movies to go through. This time we got plenty of time to, like, reminisce about the show.
Sure. Shall we? Which one are we starting with?
If you want to get us started, why don't you tell us a little about the Legend of the Titanic?
Alright, so the Legend of the Titanic.
We should probably sort these out, because they're extremely similar names and very easy to get confused. Legend of the Titanic is the one with an octopus dog. Titanic, the Legend Goes On, is the one with the rapping dog.
Yes. Okay.
So yeah, this is the octopus dog one.
So released April 17th, 1999. It's got a couple of directors listed, so whatever. Is a retelling of what really happened on the Titanic, as it was actually someone who, a bad guy with an eye patch, wanted to do some whaling, but the person, he was going to marry someone whose father could give him the rights to do it, and then she didn't want to marry him anymore, and the dad was like, oh shit, okay, you don't have to marry him. Very easy resolution there. What wasn't a very easy resolution, though, was that he decided he wasn't going to take no for an answer and force the dad to sign the papers anyway, and then he had a plan to take the ship down so they couldn't squeal, and that's where they had the shark gang that was going to help them sink the ship, and they could escape right before the sink happens. And the sharks pull this off by getting a giant octopus to throw a giant iceberg into the ship, and the octopus then holds it together to save everybody, because he didn't mean to cause the damage that he did. I want to remind you all that this is what actually happened on the Titanic. Anyways, everybody made it off, including the captain. Everyone was good, and the good old octopus is good too. Everyone's safe. Everyone's fine. The end. Matt, what did you think of The Legend of the Titanic?
I mean, not very well animated.
No.
It's a little more cohesive than the other one. It's certainly better edited. Animation's pretty bad. It's definitely a lot more boring than the other one. Like, the other one was getting laughs. This one is just kind of I mean, there's some laughs here and there at this one, but it's not nearly as funny.
Don't agree entirely there. I think this movie throws a lot of weird shit at you.
And I don't know, just like claiming that no one died on the Titanic is such like an outrageous direction to go with it.
It's quite the hook.
even the fucking character who dies in the story. Like, they cut the wires to stop this one, like, telegraph from going through. And then they're like, oh no, now we have to send out an SOS and we can't connect the wires. So they just attach it to this dude's mustache and electrocute him to death. So he dies, but then at the end they're just like, nah, even he's alive again. No one died. Everyone is fine.
Yeah, it's, some of them are like, some of them you have to, you have to question why they even, like, bothered. Because, like, again, the character with the mustache that dies wasn't really well established prior to his death scene.
Oh,
I think everyone would have been okay if he died.
It's like his second appearance in the film.
Yeah. And then the octopus, it's like, and I forget the fucking character's name, it's like Tentacle. What is it again?
Tentacles. It's just tentacles in this.
Tentacles, alright.
The sequel is called Tentacalino, which is Italian for tentacles.
Okay.
He does have his own spin-off sequel.
But yeah, he does. And he died, like, they do a fake out death with him in the movie too, where it's like, why did you need to convince the audience that he was dead for a second? Because again, it's literally a second, and then they try to make it this big reveal during the wedding scene at the end. Oh, he's still alive, but they already revealed it to the audience that he's still alive and fine. I don't know, it's just... I don't think this movie is, here's the thing I'm going to say about it, and I almost, this is going to say what I think about the other one a little bit here. The animation is bad. It is bad, but I'm going to say this. They at least animated an entire movie. The other one did not do this. I am convinced that the other movie had people on it that knew how to draw, and this one, I mean, you never know what they're going through. You never know what these animators are being forced through. Frankly, a lot of these drawings look better than what I'm capable of doing, so at the very least can give them that. But the other one definitely has more personality in the animation, despite it being blatantly unfinished. Or if this one, it's just kind of generic and boring. But when I was a kid, I saw stuff on TV that looked like this. You know, it's not as, to me, it's still not, even though it, like... Sure. Doesn't hit the highs of the other one, because again, there are decent expressions and decent drawings in the other one. I'm not going to say decent animation, because no, not even for a fucking second is there decent animation in that movie. There's just better drawings in that movie. This one at least does finish it. It feels like the entire thing was, like, it's an hour and 20 minutes, where the first one was an hour, and it managed to feel like every single scene and every single shot was completed. Are they good shots? No. Do I see a little bit of them reusing animation and looping shots to make them go on longer? Yes, it is nowhere near as blatant as the other film. Even someone who has no eye for this shit will notice it in the other movie.
Yeah. This one feels kinda anime-ish, honestly, in places.
It does.
It's like I told you, it almost feels like the anime adaptation of the other movie we watched.
What's so bizarre about that, though, too, is that they have shots where they're doing the very simple mouth movement like a lot of animes do. A lot of animes, like, keep the actions of the characters, like, they focus more on the actions of the characters than the lip movement. So you'll have, like, you know, really beloved animes where the lip movement is just kind of up, down, very simple, so they can sync it easily for dubs. Where American animation, the movement of the lips, like if you watch The Simpsons, is a lot more important. It is something that, like, tends to be focused more on cartoons, that they want the lip movement to match what the character is saying, for expression's sake. But this movie only half commits to that, because I swear to God, there's shots where, like, the character's mouth open and audio comes out and then it closes. Like, it's like how I do it for fucking Spiny Norman videos. But my defense is, I'm me doing this alone. Where their defense is, no, you should make the fucking lips move up and down when they're talking. They shouldn't just have their mouth open and dialogue is coming out. Because the movie is very back and forth for that. I do disagree a little bit that the movie is completely boring. It is a little bit at times, but they keep throwing insane twists at you in this movie. They keep throwing shit at you that doesn't make any fucking sense at all, and they do it throughout.
No, it definitely has its like weird ass moments. Like when the Tony knockoff is like, I'm gonna marry that woman, and the main mouse is like, but she's a human and you're a mouse, and he's like, well, if there's one thing I'm not, it's a racist.
And then that same mouse actually says racist shit in the movie. He says, like, if they have a cat, then they should die. He doesn't say that, but he says something along those lines.
Oh yeah, he says, I don't trust anyone who has a cat.
Yeah. So yeah, he is a racist. I like how this movie just lets the cat die. Like, the villains supposedly die. The villains supposedly die because they don't get picked up, and there is just a cat in a cage.
They're
and the cat
the
didn't
only people who died from the Titanic.
The only people who died from the Titanic are the people who got off the Titanic before it got hit.
Yeah, but the cats didn't even do anything. Like, there was at least an evil cat in the other movie, and this one the cats didn't really do anything. They just belonged to the evil characters.
They belonged to the evil character and had a natural reaction to some guy trying to shove it into a cage. So yeah, the cat just got punished. This movie really does just say, fuck cats. The other movie does make the cat, like, antagonistic. The cat does shit. But the movie also spares the cat. The mice get together and save the cat and dog that are villains. They save the two. They make it off alive. And that movie actually was willing to kill characters. I think the biggest, like, shame with this movie, as outrageous as it gets and how silly the plot gets, it does something that it can't one up at the very start of the movie, which we already said it. They claim no one went missing on the Titanic. No one died on the Titanic. And once you say that, I feel like you can't really one up yet that, you know? It doesn't matter what you do from there. You're already taking this insanely bold stance. I don't know. Where do you go from there?
It feels like them trying to make this story more child-friendly, but it's also like, that's the Titanic. That actually happened. You can't just, like, dumb it down for children. Like, it's one thing to do that with, like, a Grimm's fairy tale, or even, like, I don't know, a Bible story. But, like, the Titanic? That happened. You just should not make an animated Titanic movie.
Honestly, and it's also just kind of like, I feel like the reason they were so comfortable doing that is because of how long ago that was. Imagine if someone tried to do that for, like, something like 9/11 or, I mean, people did try to do it for COVID, but, like, stuff like that, like, which was, like, this real, like, you know, this tragic shit that happened that, like, caused a lot of people their lives. Like, I think that's what I think that's where they took comfort in doing it for the Titanic, is that it's just something that didn't happen in the people who's made it lifetime. And that's, like, probably their only way of justifying it. But it's also just, like, it's still a bizarre thing to do. It's still bad. And frankly, I think you have to ask which one is, like... I do actually think it's almost a debate of which one is being less tasteful than the other. I guess denying it is probably the worst thing you could do. But at the same time, the fucking other one that we'll get to soon ends it in a way where it's just like, it's a happy ending, even though we're acknowledging people died on the Titanic. It's like tone deaf. One is in denial and one is, like, completely fucking tone deaf.
Yeah, I mean, there have been a lot of Titanic movies over the years, and honestly, like, the James Cameron one is probably the most tasteful one. Because, I mean, there was a Titanic movie, like, the year the Titanic sunk, starring someone who was actually on the Titanic.
I didn't know that, actually.
Then you have the Asylum classic Titanic 2. It's a terrible, terrible movie. Also, let's not forget the movie I reviewed on Matt's Fun Time Weird Movie Show, Alien versus Titanic. That was about a spaceship called the Titan 1C, but it was still like a Titanic thing where, like, they crash land on a planet and Predator knockoffs attack them.
Yeah.
So these two are hardly the only tasteless movies about the Titanic.
I mean, there's so many instances of bad taste. Like Sharon Tate story is one that I've seen more than one bad version of, like, telling that story. Like, that's horrible. Ironically, Tarantino made one of the more tasteful versions of that story just by rewriting history again. Hey, that's something that this movie has in common with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood and Inglourious Bastards. It's a retelling of history.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
all. This is that. That's all it
No,
is.
yeah, clearly Tarantino was a little inspired by this film.
Yeah. God, is there anything else specific to talk? There's the Shark Gang. That's kind of funny.
No, I like the Shark Gang and the like dog faced octopus. Why is he dog faced? Like that doesn't
They want
make
him to
any
be
sense.
cute. They want him to be
They
cute.
just decided the octopus has a dog face.
I guess they didn't think octopuses were cute enough. They wanted him to be a cute character. I honestly, God, don't think he's cute. I think he's creepy looking. But I think they wanted him to be cute.
If you did a cat face, you could at least be like, haha, octopus. Get it? But no, it's a dog.
Yeah, I don't know.
We gotta fucking talk about, like, the woman's, like, out on the deck crying and her magical moonbeam tears cause her to be able to talk to the dolphins, who can just fucking levitate. Like, it's clearly a long way from the deck to the ocean, and those guys will, like, jump up in the air and just, like, wiggle around in the air and talk to her, and it's like, these dolphins can levitate. These dolphins can just straight up levitate. But, like, it's the magical moonbeams that give her the power to talk to animals. But then also the villain can talk to the Shark Gang? So, like, does he also have the magical moonbeam tears?
No, the sharks just know English. They're scumbags. They do crime all around the world. No, I remember when the scene with the dolphins are levitating, I thought there was going to be a line coming up that was explaining that, saying, oh yes, we can also do this because we're magic, but no, they just jump for a really long time, I guess. They don't really elaborate on that one.
Yeah, no, they can just kind of hold themselves up in the air.
Is there any other funny, ridiculous bullshit we're forgetting in this? Like, there's the romance is horrible. The two mice characters, there's like a girl mouse that the lead sailor mouse is interested in, but they don't have any screen time together, and the end of the movie is just like assuming that you cared about that. Like, when you're seeing them as old people, most people who actually got invested in the story would rather see the friend mouse, not the wife mouse, because the friend mouse is the one that we actually spent time with in the movie.
He has more romantic chemistry with the Tony knockoff. Like, they at least dance together at one point.
They dance together, they joke together, they spend all their time together, they mourn the death of their mustached friend together.
Before he comes back.
I know. But yeah, no, they absolutely had more chemistry than the mouse that he marries at the end.
Did that girl even have, like, a line of dialogue?
I think at the start of the movie they do. I don't think they do at the end.
I'm okay, she does in, like, the flash forward to, like, the present.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right, at the very end, yeah. This movie's Jack and Rose have almost nothing, but I'm actually gonna say it's better than what the other movie did. Some fucking how. But it's less funny than what the other movie did. Because the other movie, God, literally goes into, like, flashbacks of the 20 seconds they've spent on screen together. Where this movie just makes them fall in love really quickly, which is, it's like only a little bit more outrageous than your typical old Disney movie. It's only going a little faster than those go. He is a creep though, because both characters have a habit of smelling the clothing and that's what makes them interested in the girl, I guess. They both fucking do that. They both take a piece of clothing and smell it.
Yeah, I mean, this movie, one of the things that makes him, like, a little more endearing in this film is that, like, the animals are trying to get them together. Like, the animals think this is a good romance at the very least, and they're the ones who are kind of orchestrating the whole thing.
Well, he's also just like a nice dog owner. He's not he's a nice enough guy where he seems chill. I'll say that. He seems like a chill person minus the sniffing. Where the guy in the other movie, I jokingly said this, but I quite literally he has lines that indicate this. He just comes off as a guy who isn't going to take no for an answer. He really has some strong incel energy coming off of him. Where if he was given a rejection, he would have not been as cool about everything as he was. At one point he says, I'm not going to let you go this time. And it's obviously not intended that way. It's not supposed to come off that way in either case, but it does.
I don't know. We'll get to him.
Yeah.
Thing is, it's like, it's kind of hard to talk about cast with this, because both of these were Italian films, later dubbed into English. I have found a voice cast, and what's kind of funny to note, there is one actor who's in both of these films. The guy who plays the villain in this also voices the rapping dog and the evil cat in the other Titanic.
Now, what about the English dub, though? Because, like, what about the cast for that? Because that actually is possible to find someone.
No, that is the English cast.
Oh, is it?
The English voice cast. Here's the thing, I could kind of tell, too. I'm like, that sounds like the same guy from that other movie, and it was.
Yeah, there we go. Gregory. Okay, so Gregory, you're in 2 Hall of Victories movies right now. What else have you been in? Are you possibly... What do you have potential for? A lot of anime. He was in My Neighbor Totoro. Cool World. He was in Cool World. We might do Cool World one day. He's been in some animes. He has Kiki's Delivery Service. He was in Suspiria.
Yeah, he's done some English dubs for Ghibli movies. He was Spider-Man at least once.
He at least has one other movie he could show up for Hall of Victories from what I'm seeing here. And he also was in some actually good movies.
Can we talk about the villain in this? Because he kind of... First off, he's got a super generic design. Like, he's got a fucking eye patch and a mustache. So, like, super generic design. And he's, like, trying to, like, convince this girl to, like, marry him. But also he's got these, like, 2 other ladies that he's clearly courting throughout the movie. And neither of them, like, get too much screen time.
I actually kept forgetting that one of them even existed. Because the stepmother is the one that actually has some, like... She at least has lines in other scenes. Yeah. The other one, it's kind of the same thing with the other movie, where the movie just decided they were going to have 2 evil older women for some reason, which wasn't necessary for either of these movies. It was even less necessary for this one, though, because the other one does so little that I kept forgetting she was in it. I don't think there's any good performances in this, really. I don't think that, there's much to work with, to be fair, but I think even, like... basic voices are either like, I think most of the mice sound kind of annoying. They really miss that line between a good cartoonish voice and just an irritating voice. And then the main people, like the human characters, all have like really dull voices. The villain was actually probably the best performance in the movie, and it wasn't great. Or maybe the sharks. The sharks, at least, they got the voice down for what the sharks should sound like. I think the people, whoever voiced the sharks, did a good job for what it was, you know?
Sure.
If I had to voice a shark who's constantly wearing prison clothes, I might do the same thing.
Yeah, it was kind of funny that he was striped, right? So he was probably like a tiger shark or something.
Yeah.
But he also just, like, had the, like, prison hat on.
Yeah.
And then Tentacles steals his prison hat and puts it on to, like, give him the strength to lift the iceberg that sinks the Titanic.
And then he was given a 30-year sentence for nearly killing all those people.
He's redeemed because he saves the ship and makes sure that no one dies. Remember, kids, no one died on the Titanic.
No one died on the Titanic. Like imagine being a teacher showing this in a classroom to kids, saying, okay, it's an anime, yeah, sure, they could learn about the Titanic, that's fine. And then, like, their immediate reaction saying, like, no, it didn't really happen. Like, what the fuck am I showing these kids?
I will say at the start of the movie, all he says is like, oh, the missing people weren't missing, but by the end it's like, no one died. 0 people died, except for the villain, his butler, and the 2 women he was dating.
In that sense, what movie do you think is a better one to show to a classroom? Because I will pick the other one for that. Because at least it doesn't deny the Titanic deaths.
Yeah, I think if I were gonna show a classroom full of kids one of these, it'd probably be the other one. Although at that point, I think I'd rather show them Titanic, and that, like the James Cameron Titanic, and that movie has boobs, so, like,
Yeah.
I could get in trouble for that one, and I'm still like, nah, that's the better movie to show kids.
I think that I would have to go with the Rappin' Dog.
Yeah.
I forget which reviewer did it. Did you ever see the fucking? I think it was JonTron. It could. I don't think it was Doug. Doug and JonTron are like the two that I remember. I definitely saw other people review it, but those are like the two that always stuck with me. One of them did like an edit where when the ship is sinking, they started playing Party Time over it. So that's the cut of the movie you need to show the kids, the Party Time cut, where Party Time just continues to play throughout the movie in the most inappropriate places.
There are alternate cuts of Titanic: The Legend Goes On, actually, and one of them is the Party Time cut. Not because it plays while the ship is going down, just
because it just has it in it.
There's different rap songs. There's different rap songs in the two versions. Should we move on to Titanic: The Legend Goes On?
We should, because I immediately have shit to say about that Rappin' Dog. Go ahead.
So in a very similar fashion, Titanic: The Legend Goes On as the story of some people boarding the what was it? The SS Titanic? Well, I forget what the ship classification for the Titanic was. They board the Titanic. So there's all these, like, animals stowing away, all these, like, fun talking animals, a lot of mice. There's, like, a main little boy and his parents who are, like, he's foreign, he's got a little foreign accent, and he's helping this poor woman who's been trying to find, like, her real mother all her life, but she runs into this dude in the hallway, this rich dude, and the rich dude is immediately smitten with her, and he's like, I absolutely have to get together with this woman. We're a perfect match. I know this after 2 seconds. There's a scene where they meet, like, on the dock of the ship, and he has, like, a romantic flashback to their 2-second meeting in the hall. And he also, yeah, he has, like, a maid who goes around with a nanny who raised him, that goes around with him, and she's like, boy, it sure is sad that I gave my daughter up for adoption. I hope I can see her someday. So I'll let you figure out where that plot thread is going. There's a dog who raps, and the poor girl has, like, the Cinderella evil stepmother and stepsisters, but also Cruella de Vil and her minions are on this boat, and they're, like, jewel thieves. And there's this, like, sleazy dude who's trying to get with all the women, who, like, steals the poor girl's locket and gives it to, like, the pretty singer on the boat. And there's a detective who does nothing. Michael, what did you think of Titanic: The Legend Goes On?
The detective is there because they can mistake him at the end for the guy they actually want to save.
Oh yeah, he's there so they can be like, look, there he is, and it's actually the the detective in disguise. But then also she's like, wait, no, there he is over there, and it's the exact same shot.
This movie is, like, unreasonably bad, because it's not even, like, to me it really is just an incomplete film that they tried to thread together anyway. What I said earlier is I think the people who animated this movie know how to draw, because occasionally you would get a shot with a drawn that looks pretty decent. Some of the characters, like, they have detail to them, they're decent cartoonish designs. A lot of them look like characters from other movies, granted, but hey. Especially, funny enough, Party Time actually is one of the scenes where I think the fact that there are some people here who know what they're doing are on board, because there's some very, very clean shots in Party Time. They're just... It almost feels like they're these, like, profile shots that have, like, nothing to do with the scene necessarily. They're just vague enough that they could be thrown into Party Time. But I mean, there's some scenes where the characters are drawn well, the animation is smooth, there's shading applied to the shots, like, it's detailed. They just don't they belong in Party Time as much as they belong in any scene with a song playing. In fact, they do get recycled and reused a lot. And it's very clear to me that, like, there's people involved in this film that know how to draw, but not a single shot of animation in this film is, like, complete. I mean, I'm a big fan of a movie like Hello, My Beautiful Creatures that has, they quite literally went for 6 frames per second. But I think that movie justified it better, and you obviously know it's being made by, like, a very passionate crew. Like, it's being made by people who put this thing together in 2 months, and clearly it was a very personal project to them. So you kind of can be a bit more forgiven of the 6 frames per second of animation. It's like the terms the film gets to exist on. Where this movie, it's like, what's your fucking excuse? You're an animated film made by a studio that's being distributed for no reason other than money. Why couldn't you fucking finish the movie? Because they don't. They reuse shots constantly. They slow shots down so they fit a scene. There's never the only instances of fluid animation come from these very bizarre shots, like in Party Time, where it's like, I don't even think this shot was made for this scene. I think this is a fucking test animation that made it into the movie because it looks better than the actual animation in the movie.
I mean, the thing there is like clearly the Joel Haver and the other people he had making Hello My Beautiful Children with him,
Creatures,
were like passionate about what they were making, and this is an animated Titanic movie that does not need to exist in any capacity. So like all of the laziness is like, why did you even fucking bother? You know, like, why did this need to exist?
I don't know why they thought the Titanic would be this great fantasy to like make an entertaining kids movie out of. Like, Jesus Christ. And it wasn't. These movies are only known on a level of infamy. That's the only reason these movies have any like notoriety at all is because of how badly you fucked up. Because these are like two of the biggest film fuck ups of all time.
Well, and like, it's just kind of ridiculous. Not only that there's an animated Titanic movie, but that there's 2 animated Titanic movies that are weirdly similar in so many ways.
I'm even going to go as far as to just say, like, animated kids films, because could you make an animated Titanic movie? I don't know why you would want to, honestly, but I think you could make a tasteful animated Titanic movie that leaned towards adults.
Perhaps.
You know, I don't think you need to. I don't know why that would be anyone's passion project, but people want to do what people want to do, and it's possible. It should not be a fucking children's movie, and if it is going to be a children's movie, my God, I mean, like, I don't even think it'd be a good movie. I think you could do like a TV show, an educational TV show episode about it. Because I don't remember any of the names of these shows. I remember watching shows where it was a bunch of kids that would like travel back in time to a certain like historical event. And you'd learn about the historical event. And sometimes it'd be something uplifted and sometimes it'd be something sad. I remember them showing that fucking Martin Luther King, My Friend Martin video animation. Like, it was only like 40 minutes every year at school, like, for Martin Luther King. Like, stuff like that can exist, but this is just the approach these two movies make. It doesn't feel like that actually matters to them. Again, I know I'm a broken record now. One of them has it so, like, rewrites history, and the other one glances over the fact that people died on the Titanic. Like, people do die in this movie, but it's like, it's glanced over entirely. It doesn't matter to this film that happened.
I mean, like the ending of this film is ridiculous because the little mouse boy is just like, wait, don't you want to hear what happened to everyone? And like, the last thing that happens, it's like the romantic lead's getting married, but then he's like, oh, and they adopted these 2 dogs because the singer lady died. What a happy ending.
It's so bizarre to me is I've watched so many people cover this movie and no one ever brings that up. And I think it's because of how the movie glances over it. He's still talking in this happy tone. I think most people are just so blown away by the fact that they're doing this that they don't even pick up on the fact that he just said that. And on top of that, you see her on the boat singing with the other musicians. One, I'm pretty sure they're reusing animation because she has this big dumb smile on her face. I think it's from when she was singing that same song earlier. 2, they're doing her song over the dramatic score. The 2 do not blend well together. It is a basic editing mistake there. And then 3, she's not only a woman, but she is a semi-famous woman. Why was she not able to get off the boat? In the movie where dogs are able, her 2 dogs got off of the Titanic. Why was she not able to do it? Like, are they trying to do this big she wants to go down with the ship thing? Because you have not developed her enough at all to do something like that. It doesn't make sense for her character. That makes sense for the captain, not for her. It feels like they're trying to do what they did with the violin players in the actual Titanic movie, but they don't want to earn that at all. They just decided to throw it in at the end. It doesn't make any fucking sense. That's the sad thing, is I think I get what they were going for, but normally when I say I get what someone's going for, that's me trying to be charitable towards them. The fact that I know what they were going for actually makes it fucking worse. Because, like, my god, you just didn't give a shit. That is the most forced way you could have possibly done that, like, tried to recreate that scene of the violin players who accept their fate. It's a very sad scene. There's a reason it gets referenced all the time. It was an honor playing with you tonight. It's a big moment. And it feels like this movie wanted to try to kind of capture that too, but it does it in such a half-assed way that you just have to ask the question again, why did you even bother?
Yeah. I mean, that is kind of the big question here, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, there are two versions of this movie with two different rap songs. I made sure we watched the Party Time cut because I prefer that version of the rap song. There's a completely different rap song that I don't like as much. That version of the film is slightly better edited than this, but it does still run into, like, a lot of the same problems that this one does.
Is it enough that, is it, like, so many that it's, like, almost insignificant? Like, he adds better, but it's still, like, comparing a piece of shit to a piece of shit?
Yeah, like, clearly this movie would have, like, bad animation and like a weird nonsense story either way, and there's still a fucking rapping dog in it.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the other cut is probably the better cut. It's a little more coherent, but it doesn't have Party Time, so we watched the version with Party Time.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely should. I guess with the rapping dog, I was going to ask you, do you think there was any point in production of this film where the rapping dog had nothing to do with it? Because I gotta say, the way the dog acts during the rap scene versus the way he acts the rest of the movie, they're not the same. He's a very basic, typical talking dog character for the rest of the movie. The rapping scene is the only scene where he's like this party animal character.
He's like the leader of the bunch. You know him well. He sort of... He's like very refined through the rest of the movie, like, oh, we gotta be careful, there's this evil cat and something I hesitate to call one of ours walking around. Yeah. And he's like very refined the rest of the movie, but like in his introduction scene he's just like, you know, there's something you should know, so I'm gonna tell you, so don't sweat it, forget it, enjoy the show.
It just strikes me as one of those things that, like, there's a chance it wasn't in the movie at a point. And then someone was like, "Oh, we need to be hip. Let's throw in a rapping dog."
He reminds me of Poochie.
He does. He is like
Poochie. That is like such Poochie shit, you know.
That is a Poochie right there. I'll agree with that.
This one also, I feel like the first one, clearly it's cashing in a little on James Cameron's Titanic, and like I said, there are those like An American Tale comparisons in there. This one feels like it is just ripping off like any Disney movie it can get its hands on, right? It's got Cinderella, it's got 101 Dalmatians.
Disney or Don Bluth.
It's kind of got Aristocats even, like with all of them singing and dancing. Obviously it's still got An American Tale, and I think this one actually rips off James Cameron's Titanic way more than the first one does. Like there's a role reversal where like the girl is the poor one and the man is rich, but there's still like the Billy Zane-ish character, and there's like the necklace plays a big important role in the story.
Right. And then when there was the scene where they painted the rapping dog naked.
Right. They paint him like one of their French girls.
There's like a bunch of even just down to character design, like the crow character in this movie shares a very similar design to a character from Secret of Nim. And you might be saying, oh, it's just a crow. How different can it make it look? I don't know. If you look at the two side by side, it's almost like if you would have told me that this was like, if you just showed me a screenshot of him and told me it was a direct-to-video sequel to Secret of Nim, I would have believed you. You know, that's how similar they look.
And there are straight-to-video sequels to to Secret of Nim.
There is, and I gotta, if we ever do that for Hall of Victories, which I don't know if we would, don't look anything up about it. That fucking movie has one of the most insane... it has one of those plot twists at the end of it where I'm like, I can't believe you fucking went this way. I'm genuinely stunned that you went this way.
I read the Rats of Nim books when I was in middle school. There's like 4 books in the Rats of Nim series. I remember laughing really hard because I checked them all out from my middle school library, and the 4th one, like, characters swear a cuss, and I'm like, they said damn, and I checked this out from the middle school library.
Oh, at that point, I was already playing Shadow the Hedgehog. That's child's play to me.
Damn, not here. Gee whiz. What else fucking happens in this movie? People do at least die on the Titanic in this one. It's not caused by, like, an evil baron making a deal with a shark gang to trick an octopus into throwing an iceberg in front of the Titanic. Like, it is, like, weirdly enough, the version with a rapping dog is more accurate to what actually happened. Like, how is the version with the rapping dog the more accurate one?
The stepsisters are so unsubtle about. They have to, like, even do the thing where they repeat the lines.
And they do the, like, same joke twice of, like, the mice scaring them, and the one like, the fat one jumps up on a chair and then the chair breaks.
Yes. There is a scene, it's like at 4 minutes and 40 seconds into the movie, where this guy helps that, like, they drop something and he picks up for something. Let's hope it's a smooth sailing. And then he, like, does the eyebrow nudge thing at the camera. And it's like, what the fuck does this guy fucking know? And it never gets addressed again. This guy just says, hopefully it's a smooth crossing. It's like, motherfucker, you're fucking in on this. I don't know how, but he's in on this. He knew what was gonna happen. He's part of actually, this.
In this version, there's also, like, an evil baron who's trying to get the whaling rights, but, like, no one even notices or catches on. So he just gets away with it.
He just gets it, yeah.
The father's allowed to die in this version. So, despite this being episode 50, technically this isn't our 100th movie because we did the 4-way last time. Technically, Fant Four Stick was our 100th movie. And that's not even counting our very special lost episode.
You're right. Yeah, I've revoked that from my ranking, finally.
Maybe I should explain that. We have not done a single video game movie matchup because I wanted to do, like, a whole big thing. I called it March Badness, where we would record a bunch of episodes and then, like, release them together as, like, part of a big, like, video game movie bracket. But, like, we recorded one episode and then I was like, okay, we, like months went by without us recording another one.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, clearly we don't have the time to do this right now, so maybe if something changes with our schedule, we'll pick that back up. I have been considering other options for, like, what to do with that, but I do think eventually we need to start including some video game movies on this show, because, like, come on. Like, Mortal Kombat versus Street Fighter is right fucking there.
How many, I know we definitely need to, but, like, how many of these movies have we... Like, how many did you want to do? Because I swear to God, you could just make it 4 separate matchups, you know? Like, you don't have to go as into it as you wanted. It could just be 8 movies competing with each other. I think you had it, like, 16 or higher last time.
Yeah.
Because if you wanted to make March Badness, like, a yearly thing, and we just picked, like, 8 movies, that'd be a lot more doable. There's so much... The thing is, you're getting more variety now. You have, like, a Minecraft movie that could be added to that bracket now.
Yeah. Anna, like, that wasn't even... Like, when we were considering that, it wasn't even, like, a matchup then, but we could do, like, a Minecraft movie versus the Borderlands movie.
Yeah, you could, at this point, I understand that people like the Illumination one, but there's still people who fight against it pretty hard. You really could do Mario versus Mario.
I mean, listen, I respect the Illumination Super Mario more than like the Super Mario Bros. Movie, but I've seen the Super Mario Bros. Movie like 5 times, and it will continue being the one I come back to. I've seen the Illumination one twice, and I'm like, yeah, I'm good. I don't think I need to see this ever again. I didn't even really need to see it the second time. It just, like, I was hanging out with Mitzi and their friends wanted to go see it, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. I'll watch it a second time.
The same thing that happened with all the Sonic movies happened with me with the Mario movie, where I watched it in theaters, had a great time, and then when I put it on for a second watch, I got bored and stopped. Like, it's just like, it's one of those things where, that's why I don't get angry at Martin Scorsese when he compares Marvel movies to theme park attractions. Because even though I think Marvel movies have a bit more integrity to them than a lot of video game movies. I watch those movies. I have a great time. Like, I mean, I really have a great time. And then if I try to rewatch them, it's like the thrill is just dead. It doesn't exist anymore. So, I went in Sonic 3, because I'm such a big Sonic fan, is the only movie I went to see in theaters twice. And on my second watching of that one, even though I would consider that to be one of the best video game movies ever made, not the best, but one of the best, I was sitting there in that theater, and like the adrenaline of the first hour was like already gone. Like, it was like, oh wow, I was just like, I'm just waiting for fucking Live and Learn, alright. And yeah, the third act was still awesome, I still loved it, but the first hour was still kind of a chore to get through. Like, I don't know, it's just but when I first watched it, it wasn't. It's just, that's how a lot of these game movies go. Mario Bros, the live action one, I could put that on any day and have a good time watching that shit show, you know?
Absolutely. No, I have seen that movie like so many fucking times because it's hilarious. I've watched it twice with you.
Yeah, no, yeah. No, I'm gonna make a very bold
Was that the
claim
first movie we watched together?
I probably.
Probably. Is that episode public again? Or is that still in, like, copyright purgatory?
If it's I don't actually remember if I fought it or not. If I haven't, it's quite literally just because I didn't fight it again. I could do that, like, before this episode comes out.
You should.
It'd
That was a
probably
good
be
video.
fine. It was a good video. I liked that video. But yeah, like, that probably was, because I was going to say, well, we did a Duck cast where we talked about movies, and it's like, we didn't watch them together, though.
Yeah.
The first movie I think you ever got
Was
me
that
to
even
watch.
before Super Mario Bros? I think we watched Super Mario Bros first, actually.
I know, because I think that's how you...
absolute certain, but...
I think that's how you met Zach. I think that's how you two talked for the first time.
Okay. I believe you.
That movie, though, is really funny. This is a very bold claim for me to make as Spiny Norman. Not only do I like the live-action one more than the animated one, I like the live-action one more than any of the 3 Sonic movies. The third one's final act is peak. If the whole movie was that good, I don't dislike any of the movies. It's just like, God, the enthusiasm of rewatching it dies really quickly with those.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, you're kind of like... Sorry, I'm talking about fucking Sonic again, but hey, it's me. At the end of the day, it's just like, the movies are getting closer than anything else does in terms of giving you what you want, but it's also like, there's still so many fucking terms and conditions where it's like, at the end of the day, it's just like, God, I wish that this would have just been fucking 2D animated in the fucking first place. You know, it's just like...
Yeah.
There's so much compromise, and where it's like, I'm happy that we got this close.
I said after Sonic 3 came out, I'm like, this is as good a Sonic movie as you could make, given what the first one in the series was.
Yeah, especially given what the first trailer was. Because even the first movie redeemed itself. I'm completely at peace with all of those movies. Like, frankly, the one, you know, time to stir the pot, Matt. You know, out of all of them, which one I enjoyed watching the most a second time?
Which?
The Knuckles show.
I actually haven't seen the Knuckles show all the way through. I maybe should.
It's not amazing, but there's just kind of something about it that's funny to me. And I do think some of it's genuinely good. It's just like, it's almost, I don't know, I think I'm a fucking troll. I think part of me thinks it's funny because of how off topic it gets. It's kind of like me defending the Tom and Jerry movie. Where it's like, I think sometimes if I know something is going to upset someone, maybe it makes it a little funny for me. Because Wade really does steal that show. Wade really does steal that show.
I mean, we were kind of that way about Dragon Ball Evolution.
Dragon Ball Evolution at least pronounced the characters' names right.
I know you did a spiny rambles going over like your ranking for all of the Hollow Victories movies, and I've thought about doing my own, but just off the cuff here, do you want to do like a top 5, bottom 5 for the people at home? My top 5 for the show, the 5 movies we've watched that I think are my favorites: Glinner Glinda, Zardoz, The Book of Henry, A Talking Cat, and Ben and Arthur are my top 5. Glinner Glinda and Zardoz I think are like actually good. Book of Henry, extremely funny. A Talking Cat and Ben and Arthur also extremely funny.
My top 5 from 5 to 1 is, so number 5, Mac and Me, The Cat in the Hat, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, The Book of Henry, and Zardoz actually is my favorite Hollow Victories movie. That was like kind of a pleasant surprise for me. I genuinely enjoyed that movie. I admit that it's kind of bullshit because even the people who made it admitted it was bullshit, but it's still like it's just a really interesting movie. I mean, there's no ironic enjoyment of Zardoz for me. I genuinely enjoy it.
Yeah, I think that one was like legitimately good. Like that's one of those cases where like us specifying that this was about like, oh no, these are poorly reviewed movies, not necessarily bad ones, was like we were kind of in agreement. Zardoz was kind of a good movie.
It is kind of a good movie. I think even though the director admitted that he was on drugs and doesn't know what all of it's about, I still think it's definitely, there's still something there. There is still something there. The way I described it in my Rambles video is I feel like it's almost a movie where you have to follow it more emotionally than you do logically. Because you will, if you really watch it and embrace what it is, you will see something there, I think.
Absolutely, and I almost think the fact that, like, it doesn't necessarily mean anything, it works to its benefit. Because, like, I could come up with, like, a pretty, like, misogynistic read of the film, but I feel like I could also make, like, a very progressive argument for the film, like, oh, here's like the progressive message of this movie, but here's also like the way you could interpret it in a more misogynistic way. Like it's open to interpretation.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of good in that movie's case. You want to hear my bottom 5?
Yeah, let's hear bottom 5.
I know our last place is the same, you and I.
Yeah.
Bottom 5 are The Animal, Space Jam: A New Legacy, Dirty Grandpa, Planes, and in absolute last place, The Last Airbender.
So our number 5 and number 1 are the same. Because my top 5 worst starting at 5 is The Animal, Joysticks, Smosh the Movie, Planes, and then, yes, The Last Airbender.
So we got the bottom 2 together, too. Because
Planes is fucking atrocious. Planes would be last place. You know what? Honest to God, if Shyamalan could have at least gotten the fucking names right, I'd put Planes in last place.
I do think it's very funny, because Last Airbender was, like, our 3rd episode. So, like, our 3rd episode, we watched Last Airbender, and to this day, we're like, nah, worst thing we've ever watched. Like, nothing has pissed me off quite as much as Last Airbender.
Yeah, it's... Because on top of all of that, as like much of a spit in the face as it is, it's also so fucking boring. It's like everything...
It is boring as hell.
Like, it's every bad trait that one of these movies could have. Woo! There's some cans falling. Happy 50th episode. I could bring up some more questions if you're down to clown.
Sure. I know you hated joysticks more than I did. I actually have joysticks like much higher up on the list. Smosh the Movie is pretty low, but I don't think it's even bottom 10. In fact, yeah, I'm looking at it. It's the 11th lowest rated movie I have.
It annoyed the hell out of me, and I guess it's just like maybe it had something to do with the day we watched it, because that's something I always like try to keep in mind, that a hatred that you have for a movie really could be stemmed from the mood you were in when you watched it.
Yeah. I mean, I remember us being in kind of a bad mood when we watched the 2023 Haunted Mansion, but also that movie was like kind of surprisingly dog shit. Like, I didn't expect it to be quite as bad as it was, but I was like, my god, this is like way worse than I thought it was gonna be.
No, it's pretty low.
It's in my bottom 10.
Dirty Grandpa's pretty low on my list. It didn't quite make it to the bottom 5, but it's at number 94 out of 102 movies. So I got a couple of questions. So
Sure.
I think we're gonna name some of the same characters here, but what are some of your favorite Hall of Victory movie characters? Who are some we're both going to have to acknowledge the legendary Nicholas. I don't think anyone has ever quite lived up to his legacy in these movies.
We love Nicholas.
But what are some other like bad movies that had just so happened to have a great character in it?
I mean, I think Lucas is a very funny character from The Wizard.
Yeah, I used him. He's in the Spideyverse.
He was in an episode. He was in a Spidey Norman episode, because there was that like southern robot from Star Crash we both really liked.
Oh yeah, we just called him Redneck Darth Vader. And I have that movie like high up. That's like number 11. So I love Star Crash.
Yeah, I think he was like one of the highlights of that movie.
Big Fatso from Barbed Wire.
Big Fatso, yes.
Great character. The dog that everybody flipped off and beat up in John Carter. Honest to God, Striptease had some fun characters at the end of it.
Yeah. No, fucking... What's his name? Michael Clark Duncan's character... I'm sorry. Ving Rhames' character in that movie. Super funny. Also, I mean, Burt Reynolds and Robert Patrick also very funny character. Like, those three carried that movie. Those three are why that movie won that episode. I think that's probably one of our more controversial takes, is saying that Striptease was better than Showgirls.
I hated Showgirls. Like the only thing I can say about Showgirls is I don't think it's poorly made, but it's almost like it doesn't matter, because at that point I'm just thinking like I wish that this effort would have gone into a better script, a better like cast of characters.
I think it would be like funny bad if they trimmed it down a little. Like, there's a funny bad like hour and a half, 2-hour cut of this movie, but it's so bloated that it just like drags, and a lot of the stuff they add is just like the random ass rape revenge subplot at the very end. Just like, why is that there?
Christopher Walken in The Country Bears was fun.
This isn't over. Bears. I mean, I think the Thing in the 2005 Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
Fun character.
Oh, Human Torch too. I'd throw Human Torch in there as well. The Marmaduke has Sam Elliott's character. That's what I like about you.
The Chupa-Dogra.
And you know what? While we're at it in this episode, I think we have to also give a special shout out once again to the Rappin' Dog.
Sure. Whitey, greatest character ever.
Oh, yeah, Whitey. Absolutely. Now, this one might not be as easy to answer because I feel like we're so full of these, but is there a character that you just find especially awful in one of these? Like, we're doing the opposite. What's a character that, like, you can't fucking stand this character?
Most of the characters in Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Oh, yeah, they're especially the opening scene with the fucking family.
Yeah, most of those characters I can't fucking stand.
Ralph in Ralph Breaks the Internet was pretty insufferable.
I don't know, he was just kind of a loser in that one. He's just kind of pathetic.
The teacher in That's My Boy.
I mean, sure, she's a pedophile. And the movie's just kind of okay with that. Honestly, I'm gonna say Zurg and Lightyear.
Ooh,
because, like,
yeah.
what a fucking shit show My god, they fucked that one up. I just got back from seeing the new Pixar movie Elio, and the villain in that is very Zurg-ish, but I'm also like, my god, he's like so much better than the Lightyear Zurg. Like, why couldn't this have been our Zurg?
Honestly, the lead of Showgirls, I think she is pretty insufferable. Did not care for her.
It depends on the scene, frankly.
Tobuscus and Smiley.
Smiley is one of those ones that was just like a dog shit movie, but it was really funny to watch it with like you and Cass.
Yeah.
And like make fun of it the whole time. I would consider Vanilla Ice's character in Cool as Ice hilariously obnoxious. Like, he's such a stupid piece of shit, but it's also, like, kind of funny that he is that way.
Right.
And honestly, if we're talking about, like, good characters, Vanilla Ice in That's My Boy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he was funny in that.
He was. This is one of the funniest parts of that movie.
What about a movie that you were kind of surprised how much you hated it, and one that you were surprised how much you liked it?
I was surprised Planes was as bad as it was. Like, I expected nothing, and I was still let down. Like, it feels like a fucking Cars knockoff. Like that movie is on par with, like, The Asylum's Cargo.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking terrible movie.
I really, really, really don't like Felix the Cat. And I almost feel like whenever I go hard on Felix the Cat, so everyone's kind of looking at me like, that one wasn't that bad. And like, oh, I think it was. It was like the entire... Here's the thing, I think that there's like competence in the movie. It's animated a lot better than the two movies we talked about today. But it's also like, there's just something irritating about Felix the Cat to me. Like, I couldn't stand watching that movie.
I do think the Tom and Jerry Felix the Cat episode is my favorite episode, because it's the one where you and I disagree the most. Like, usually you and I are on the same page, but that one I was like, nah, Felix the Cat, it's kind of funny how, like, weird it gets. Tom and Jerry, it's just kind of annoying, and you're like, no, I think it's funny how, like, off-topic Tom and Jerry gets. Felix the Cat, hate that bullshit.
I guess Zardoz is definitely the one that surprised me the most, and honest to God, Barbarella isn't too far off. I guess my answer for one that, like, it's not even one I'm surprised about, it's just, I think the Hall of Victories movie I would be the most defensive of, honestly, would probably be 8 Crazy Nights. Because down in my heart, I know that anyone who shit talks that movie is right, but I have grown to genuinely like it. Even though I know it's not good. I know it's not good, but I like 8 Crazy Nights. I think I've just grown some sort of attachment through listening to the director talk about it, grown appreciation for the music, even though it's kind of brought down by decisions like letting Whitey sing. And just looking at it, it looks nice. And kind of understanding the idea that it's a movie about finding something beautiful and something ugly. And that's exactly what 8 Crazy Nights is. It's like this extremely obnoxious and unlikable and disgusting movie that secretly has a heart. And it's like, God, I'm almost okay with you, 8 Crazy Nights. I'm almost okay with you.
Zardoz might be the one where, like, I was kind of surprised by how good it was, but even then, like, I had seen that one before and I knew it was like kind of weird and surreal, and on a rewatch I was like, nah, you know what, I'll stand by this one. I'll defend this one a little bit. I was also kind of surprised by how bad Haunted Mansion 2023 was. That was another one that surprised me with how shit it was.
Yeah, I think I'm kind of with you on Planes, where it's like I didn't expect it to be good. I was really not looking forward to watching that, but at the very least, I was like, it's not gonna be second to last place.
No, it was like way worse than even despite my low expectations, it was still worse than I expected it to be. What is your favorite episode? Because I said Felix the Cat versus Tom and Jerry.
It's very hard. I think that's a good one. I don't know for sure. Honest to God, I even really like our recent Fantastic Four episode. I think my favorite episode, and like I might go back on this. Honest to God, though, I think my favorite episode is Godfather Part 3 versus Shrek the Third.
That was a fun one to do.
It was a fun one, and it also got me to check out shit I needed to check out for a while. Because not only did I watch the two good Godfather movies, followed by the bad one, but I also just started getting into a mobster movie marathon. Like, I finally saw Goodfellas, I finally saw Casino. Like, it was just kind of a fun time, you know? But I enjoyed the episode a lot because it was just like such a I feel like sometimes embracing nonsense leads into a fun conversation. I have a. This is kind of like we kind of keep giving out these little rewards for like best characters or stuff like that. Do you think there's a movie? This one's a little bit specific, so apologies for that. But do you think there's a movie that we've talked about that you almost feel like it had potential? Like out of all these movies that really didn't hit the landing, which one do you think had the most potential? And my answer, I don't even know if I would say it is the one that had the most potential. It's just one where I liked an idea in it, but I think it executed the whole thing poorly. And that is, for me, the Mean one, because I like the idea of making a horror movie based on creepy live action hybrids, because that movie is definitely more leaning towards the live action Grinch movie than the animated version or the book version. And I appreciate that about it. I look at that movie and I'm like, that's a good idea, actually. I like this idea. This is like, it was paired up with Pooh, Blood, and the Honey, which was, to me, just like pure cynical bullshit. Like, oh, he's in the public domain, let's make a horror movie. The Mean one felt like it was genuinely being built around a real fear that the director might have had as a kid, which is like, oh, that fucking makeup on the Grinch is fucking terrifying in the live action movie. There's a lot of creepy live action movies. We've talked about some of them, like Garfield, for example. It's creepy shit, and it felt like the Mean one was kind of playing into that, but it's like one of the worst movies we've covered on the show. I just don't think it had to be. I felt like it could have been something really fun. I think it could have been something pretty good and even relatable.
I feel ya. Immediately, my reaction to that question is Southland Tales. I think Southland Tales certainly could have been a lot more than it was. But glancing at the list here, I would also say Tank Girl. There's probably more potential for Tank Girl than what it got. Maybe even Barbed Wire, too.
I enjoyed Tank Girl, but I agree it could have been better. But that's the thing. I think it could have been better because I already think it's, like, relatively decent.
Yeah.
You know what was like kind of funny? Tank Girl, for the longest time, Tank Girl and Cat in the Hat were side by side. And Cat in the Hat kind of completed Tank Girl's circle on the poster. Because her poster ends on the left side of a blue circle that's cut off. And then Cat in the Hat, with the way it's positioned, there's like a little bit of room on the right side of the cat's poster where it kind of completes that circle. So that was always something I looked at when I was looking at this list back then. But ever since then, Macamee and Barbarella just had to come in and split the two apart. I mean, I have Tank Girl at number 7. I personally enjoyed Tank Girl.
I have it at number 15, which is high, but not as high.
I've got Kirk Cameron Saving Christmas at number 15. Santa from Saving Christmas. That's a great Hall of Victories character. Most forgettable movie, because I'm going to tell you, I have Dracula Untold at number 42, which is relatively high up, and I don't remember a fucking thing about that movie.
I remember some stuff about that movie. I remember there was one scene that we both agreed was kind of cool, where he goes and gets the vampire powers, and the rest is like boring as shit. I remember the wife did absolutely fucking nothing. And I remember like the ending scene where they like kind of make Dracula redeemed so that he can be part of this cinematic universe that he was never a part of.
Yeah.
Most forgettable. I'm looking. It might be Aragon for me, because I remember like almost nothing about that fucking movie.
Aragon would be my second place.
I remember very little about Aragon. I remember Peyton being on that episode.
Yeah. Well, the discussion was great. The episode was good. The movie Aragon is, it's extremely forgettable. And the movie it went up against was more memorable. Percy Jackson. Well, I do remember stuff about Percy Jackson.
Yeah. I do have them ranked pretty close.
I will say, going back to an older question of just movies that had more potential, perhaps Waterworld actually what I'd put up there, because like in terms of how they made it, it's pretty damn impressive. But like they really dropped the ball with the characters, because the characters suck in that movie. Xanadu was another one that was kind of a surprise. I had a good time watching that.
Are we ready to vote for our favorite animated Titanic movie?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm first, I guess. I'm voting for the Rapping Dog one. Titanic, The Legend Goes On.
I there's a part of me that wants to vote for the other one because I feel like it's more complete. I think technically it's better, but it's also just like I don't know the deny. I think it might be the more insensitive one, which is not normally something I factor in. But since we're talking about a tragedy where a bunch of people lost their lives, sure, I'll include it this time. And also, the Rapping Dog does a lot for the other one. There's just like when it comes to bad cinema moments, the Rapping Dog is like one of the top five. Like it's just like I can't believe it, and but it's a fun type of bad. So I'm gonna agree with you on this one, even though I do. God, I almost kind of hate to give this movie a win because of how much it fucks up.
The thing is, like, there are a few technical aspects the Legend of the Titanic gets right over this one, over the Rapping Dog one. But, like, the Rapping Dog one, less insensitive, at least acknowledges that people died on the Titanic, more historically accurate film. Also, by far the funnier one. Like, I was laughing the whole way through The Legend Goes On. Legend of the Titanic, it has those moments, but it does drag a lot.
And again, I do think that there's people, even though I think it's I'm going to stand by, I think it's animated worse than the other one, because it's unfinished in every shot. But I do think the people who made this one at least knew how to draw. There are shots and drawings of the characters that don't look like complete shit. It's just when you put together them as full-blown animations and scenes, it's unfinished. And that's the best thing I can say about it. It's unfinished.
I will say, typically in these polls, I will use pictures of the poster, but because the titles were so similar, I used the octopus dog and the rapping dog for the images, and by quite possibly the largest margin in Hollow Victories history. I'd have to go back and double check that, but it's a really big one. It is Titanic The Legend Goes On, the one with the rapping dog. 92% of the vote. 92% of people were like, no, the rapping dog one is the better one. Pretty overwhelming win there.
I will say I did have to think about it, and maybe that like there was a point where I was considering the other one just because again I'm annoyed by what this movie tried to pass off as acceptable and completed because it so clearly isn't. But God, it's definitely the one that leaves a bigger impact on you. It's definitely the one that somehow managed to follow the actual events better. The one where like where you're everybody get on the ships, there's room for everybody, including your pets. Like that's the one that was more faithful. The one with the fucking rapping dog was the more faithful adaptation. You know what I'm gonna say? You know, it was more faithful than James Cameron's adaptation too. Probably was a rapping dog on that boat. This was the only movie that had the balls to share it.
I can't believe that James Cameron left the rapping dog out of his version. People so easily forget that there was a rapping dog on the Titanic.
If it hadn't been for you, I would have been in someone else's digestion.
The Titanic, The Legend Goes On, the one with the rapping dog, wins!
Party time. Party time.
Everybody's feeling fine because it's party time. Well, Michael, the Sonyverse is dead, and I think it's only fair that we show up to bury it. Next time on Hollow Victories, it's Madam Web versus Craven the Hunter. And we will be joined by our resident comic book expert, Olivia. So you will not be suffering alone this time.
Alright, Olivia, you're coming down with us.
Listen, like, we've done some fun ones this year. I think it's important that we stop and we shit talk the studios for a minute. You know, I think it's important to keep like contemporary movies on this show so we can shit talk the studios.
Yeah. All right, Olivia, it's like that Mountain Goat song. I am drowning. There is no sign of land. You are coming down with me.
Yeah, and we'll be doing that one next time on Hollow Victories. Anything else for our 50th anniversary? For our 50th episode, our 50th anniversary, Christ. Our 50th episode.
God, what's in? Okay, 50 years from now, what's in? Well, not quite 50. 46 years from now, what's in first place and what's in last place?
Okay, first place is it's still gonna be Zardoz in first place, but it's gonna be Zack Snyder's 2034 adaptation of Last Airbender that's in last place.
My answer is last place is gonna be the Spiny Norman movie, and then in first place it's gonna be the MCU Fantastic Four. There's gonna be four. There's gonna be four new Fantastic Four movies to go over.
All right. We'll see you guys in 46 years. Until next time, for my co-host Movie Makal, I'm Matt Presents. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.